Okay, Richard Snape, consultant and provider of CPD and consultant with DJB solicitors. And it's lease renewals and key issues. Since the course was actually advertised, there's been one or two important things happening. There's basically, what we're going to look at in the next hour is going to be when the 54 Landlord and Tenant Act applies, which is not always as obvious as people might imagine. But since the course was last advertised, we're recording this on July the 29th, and on July the 10th, completely out of the blue without any consultation, whether the 54 Act applies or not became much more significant in the future because we had an English devolution and community empowerment bill introduced into Parliament. And most of it's nothing to do with the 54 Act, but they sneaked in. I say absolutely no one knew it was coming. The fact that if the 54 Act does apply, including 54 Act excluded leases, government intend, they say by 2027, 28, to ban upwards only rent reviews in such leases. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But I've sort of, from the original version of what we were going to talk about, thought it would be significant to actually talk about that as well and bring that in as well. First, I've started off with how you exclude the Act. Obviously, a large number of 54 Act leases are excluded, and I do suggest they still will come within the banning of upwards on the rent review regime. And then we'll get on to the actual definition of when the Act applies and some of the key issues there. I remember the days before it all changed in 2004, when you had to troop off to court to exclude the 54 Landlord and Tenant Act and waste £130 on what was basically a rubber stamping exercise. But back in 2004, the need for a court order disappeared, and those warning notices replaced it.